All right. Good day, everybody. Welcome to Headline Hits with LW. It is Monday, April the 11th, 2022. A lot in the news, a lot of things to talk about. So let's just dive right in. Let's talk about Trump's endorsement real quick because I think it's very important. So Trump senior advisor Lynn Patton says that Trump's endorsement is the most sought after thing in politics. Well, let's read a little bit further in this article out of Breitbart. I think it's pretty interesting. So, the Trump endorsement is now the most sought after thing in politics because Americans see the clear contrast between America under former President Donald Trump leadership and President Joe Biden's, says Lynn Patton, a senior advisor to Trump and his Save America PAC. And that's what he told Breitbart News on Saturday. Patton spoke to Breitbart ahead of Trump's big rally in North Carolina in support of Representative Ted Budd, who is a Republican in North Carolina who's running for that office for the Senate. He also said that he has been a lifetime Trump family aide, made it clear that Trump remains the undefeated leader, end quote. Isn't that true? He's never been beat. Nope, not even in 2020. Um, so it goes on further to say that as polls indicate, he holds a double-digit lead in the race, and both parties considering the critically to having the majority in the Senate. So this is my concern, folks. A lot of the polls right now are showing a lot of the new and fresh Republican candidates that are running for office in 2022 holding double digit leads. Okay, my concern is pay attention. You know what happens when it comes down to that issue. Things disappear real quick. They turn the lights off, and things magically appear in the dark of night. So let's read a little bit of let's read a little bit further here. After Trump's endorsement, Budd experienced a huge reversal in his numbers. So he really, after this rally, he really jumped up in the polls. But I want to read a little bit further here because it's important that you also hear some of the other stuff that's being said. So voters and Americans across the country, including liberals themselves, are missing Trump more now than ever. You know, as we saw Virginia, Ohio, New Jersey, and Texas, American voters are unapologetically America first and family first. Um, they they are also seeing that people are just having a fit and just disappointed in this administration. They're calling it a colossal embarrassment. As rampant inflation, which cost each American over $433 per month, and rising crime, as well as surging illegal immigration, is just a few examples of what people are frustrated about here in America. I mean, and it goes on. It goes on to say that this is the GOP's best midterm election position in over 40 years. So it's also said that it's no wonder that, Trump endorsement is alive and well because parents just want to be able to put food on their table, cheap gas in their car, and not have their kids indoctrinated at school with gender identity and CRT. It's just a common sense approach, right? And that's the way Trump has been since the day he put his name in the hat and ran for office. It's just common sense. So the Democrats, they don't have an agenda that delivers results. We all know that. It's obvious by this administration. You can see that it's just nothing but a bunch of empty promises and a dumpster fire. All right, let's hit the next headline. Now, this one here, this guy, he really irritates me to no end, and I don't believe in him one bit. I call him Turtle Man. I call him Turtle Man for a reason. If you watch Franklin the Turtle, you'll know what I'm talking about. Mitch McConnell says, quote, if I'm majority leader in the Senate, we'll make sure Joe Biden is a moderate. Now, what's he talking about? We'll make sure Joe Biden's a moderate. Well, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Republican from Kentucky, Turtle Man, said on this week's broadcast of Fox News Sunday that Republicans would make sure that Joe Biden is a moderate if they retake Congress in the midterm elections. Then anchor Dana said, I want to ask you about the midterms next anyway. You have a great way of transiting, sir. Inflation, gas, and groceries. This is on everybody's mind. What would you do different if Americans do different for Americans if Republicans win the majorities in the House and Senate? Now, this is his comment. Again, I'm not a big fan of this guy. I think he should be removed immediately. If you remember correctly, in 2019, he ran on the coattails of President Trump, got his endorsement. If it was not for Donald Trump, this man would not be in office right now. Not a lot of people liked him in Kentucky. He was about to get voted out, but Trump gave him the benefit of the doubt, extended his hand for help, endorsed him, and he ended up getting reelected and then turned his back on Trump. Don't forget that, guys. I'm not going to let this go. So I'm going to keep putting that out there. He turned his back on Trump. This is what he said. Well, our agenda next year, if we are fortunate enough to be in the majority, we'll be focused on exactly what you've been talking about: crime, education, beefing up the defense of our country. The president's request for Defense Department, this year's request, don't even keep up with inflation. We've got a war going on in Ukraine. We've got bigger power competition with Russia and China. We need to meet the demands of the international situation. So all of those will be on our agenda. He also added, we will not have the presidency for the next 2 years, meaning the Republican Party. Obviously, we'll have to work with this administration to see what we can do and agree on. But let me put it to you this way. Biden ran as a moderate, and if I'm the majority leader in the Senate and Kevin McCarthy is the Speaker of the House, we'll make sure Joe Biden is a moderate. Now, what does he mean by that? That means the House, the Senate, if the Republicans have control and the majority of both of those, they can really just clip, Joe's little raisins. And I don't trust this guy. I don't trust Kevin McCarthy. You've seen this guy turn his back on Trump. You've seen this guy work with the Democratic Party in ways that we don't see fit. So I'm sorry, Kevin McCarthy, and I'm sorry, Turtle Man, Mitch McConnell, but I don't trust either one of you guys. Not as far as I can throw you at all. But we will be paying attention, and we'll be following you guys, and we'll be finding out what you guys are really up to. All right, next headline. This is coming out of Arizona. Andy Biggs, Biden could bring 30,000 illegal aliens to the U.S. border every day with the end of Title 42. Now, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. It is estimated that every 28 to 30 days that there will be up to as many as 500,000 illegals crossing our border every month. Now, I did the math on that the other day. It's real quick math. That equals out to be about 6 million illegals by the end of 2022. 6 million, folks. So let's read a little further here. Representative Andy Biggs, a Republican out of Arizona, says President Joe Biden could potentially entice 20 to 30,000 border crossers and illegal aliens to the United States-Mexico border every day if he follows through on a plan to end Title 42 Health Authority. The Centers of Disease and Control Prevention, the CDC, has announced that Biden will end the Title 42 on May 23rd. The authority, which serves as a border control measure, has allowed federal immigration officers to quickly return nearly 2 million illegal aliens to their native countries over the last 2 years. Now, remember, I reported in 2021, 1.9 million illegals had crossed the border in the United States in 2021. Okay, this says that they turned around over 2 million illegals that they know of. Listen to this, folks. This is very, very concerning. Biden officials have admitted that they expect up to 500,000 border to arrive. Okay, this is in Mesa, Arizona. Now listen to the rest of this. The interview went on, and it says right now the Department of Homeland Security, the number is about 8,000 people a day. So that's what the Homeland Security has been able to capture, count, whatever you want to call it. But keep in mind, there's a lot of people that they don't see, that they don't capture. So 8,000 people a day illegally entering our country, Big said. The DHS number, they say, is going to be about 18,000 a day. But he personally thinks it's going to be 20 to 30,000 a day. So he goes on to say that cartels are already advertising to put together caravans to come across. Our communities are going to be overran. Last year, 800,000 people illegally snuck into the country. They were not apprehended. They were not getaways. They don't know where they are, where they're from, or what their intentions are. Okay, so do some simple math. Let's just say hypothetically 30,000 people are crossing per day. You multiply that by 30 days in a month, just an average there. What number do you guys come up with? What number do you come up with? Let's do the math real quick. I got my calculator here. 30,000 per day times 30 days in a month. That's 900,000 illegals could be at our border crossing every 30 days. Now you multiply that by 12 months in a year, that comes up to 10.8 million illegals crossing our border. If that doesn't shake you, folks, I don't know what will. It's a crisis. It's something that should be high on our administration's priority list to get under control. It is a national security risk, and this administration, open door policy. All right, let's hit the next headline. We're going to jump a little bit further into some of this. So here you go. Stephen Miller, Biden administration policy, completely impeachable. America First legal founder and former Trump advisor Stephen Miller on Sunday blasted President Joe Biden over his immigration policy. Miller, who served as a senior advisor to former President Donald Trump, said on Fox News Channel Life, Liberty, and Levin that Biden has rubbished and trashed the immigration system in the United States. He argued that the president handling the immigration was completely impeachable. What this president has done has turned Congress into a mere suggestion box, Miller protested. The entire Immigration and Nationality Act, which governs who can enter our country, how you apply for a visa, what rules you have to comply with, whether you have to apply for, where you have to apply for, an entire system has been rubbished and trashed by this president as though he were an emperor, and so it is completely impeachable. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to try to file anything against him and impeach him for this, but it's impeachable. My organization has been involved in numerous lawsuits against his policies, and in each of those lawsuits, we lay out how he has violated the clear command of Congress and the clear command of the Constitution. He continued to say that one of those cases that we have litigated in partnership with Texas, we won on Title 42. Another one with respect to immigration and customs enforcement, he has been found to have broken the law again and again and again. And so, yes, there are impeachable crimes, absolutely, especially because he has not complied with the court injunctions when he has lost the lawsuits. What does that mean? That means that this president is completely running rogue. I know he's not my president. I know he's not your president. I know some of you get frustrated when I call him president. I don't mean that with any respect. That's just the article says it. I'm reading it. Okay. But he is completely rogue, even though the courts, just like, remember, the courts, the Supreme Court went and said OSHA has no right over any kind of mandates or restrictions here in America to set the people free this administration has gone back to employers and said, no, don't listen to the Supreme Court. I'm the president. Keep enforcing mandates on people. That's what this guy is doing. Even though the courts have sided with the lawsuit in our favor, this administration is still going around those, and it's criminal. It's criminal. All right, next headline. Let's talk about flip flop. And is America headed for another lockdown? Flip flop and Fauci predicts uptick in the sickness and floats the idea of indoor diaper wearing requirements yet again. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, you know who, on ABC's This Week said that the BA.2. Now, I'm not going to talk about this because we've been shut down now for some of the things I've been saying. If you want to know what the BA.2 is, you can research it yourself. It has to do with the sickness. It's the very latest and greatest. We will see an uptick of cases which might cause the return of requirements for wearing those wonderful things over our face indoors. That's what he's saying. Obviously, there is concern when we're seeing the uptick in cases, as I mentioned over the last couple of weeks, that this is not unexpected, that we're going to see an uptick when we're pulling back the mitigation methods. So what he's talking about is he keeps preaching this. He keeps putting it out there, but frankly, flip-flop Fauci, we're sick of it, and we're not putting up with it anymore. We will not comply, and we will not consent. There's so many Americans out there that are just not buying this anymore, and they're still pushing the agenda. And so it is his suggestion that as this is more contagious, I guess you would call it, but not it doesn't have the strength of all the other ones, so it won't hospitalize you or put you or worse. He's still wanting to see people put these coverings over their faces. It's just crazy. It's insanity. And why I'm bringing this up, because in my last headline here, I feel like it's possible. I'm not saying that it will happen, but it's possible. If China is doing what this next headline is talking about, how would this guy respond to that? I mean, I think he would jump on board with it, and he would want to do the same thing that China's doing right now, which is a total lockdown. Now, I'm going to read this article next, and I'm going to connect the dots for you here. I know some of you were, what are you talking about, Mike? Well, I'm talking about China and what they're doing over there right now. And this crazy guy right here, he's going to follow suit. I'm telling you right now, it's possible. So let's talk about China then. Shanghai residents trapped in lockdown scream from their windows and fight over limited food. Now, this was in the news a couple of days ago. Videos surfaced on social media in the past week from Shanghai, and he rapidly deleted on government-controlled sites. Imagine that censorship, right, folks? Imagine that. People video this on their cameras, on their iPhones. They put it out there on social media. What does the government do? They come right in and censor it. They delete it. They strike them. Like we got struck on YouTube. Send them a strike. Send me a strike. Shut us down. Now we're on channel 2. Many of the videos surfacing China's most popular blogging platform cannot be independently verified and disappear shortly after they appear. But translators outside the country have saved circulating them, painting a picture of the growing problem there in China. Enormous warnings from farmers and food distributors that their supplies are rotting, while people fear starvation because the Communist Party will not allow enough people to work to distribute the food. Now, again, I'm not saying that it will happen here in America. What I'm saying is, crazy Fauci, he wants everything to be locked down. He wants everybody to have to take vacations and wear things on their face. This, in my opinion, right here, encourages him and emboldens him to want to follow suit, because it is now China's policy, And the reason why I'm bringing this up is it's now China's policy that they want zero sickness. They want the lockdowns to continue, listen, until there is zero sickness. That's why they're doing this. It's pretty crazy. And these people are suffering because of it. They have police wandering the streets, fully armed, and forcing people to stay in their houses. They're not allowing them out for any reason. Why I'm telling you this is we talk about it all the time here on LWN. Make sure you're prepped, folks. Make sure you have some extra stuff. Just telling you, because if they tried to pull this crap here in America, at least you would be okay. Now, if they tried to pull this crap here in America, I think there'd be too many patriots and Americans and liberals and Democrats alike that would stand up and say, not happening here, pal. But that doesn't mean that they won't try it. They got to do something because they're failing at everything else. They're losing at all angles, and so is this their last ditch attempt to control us? I believe that there will be some type of control that they're going to try to throw at us here in America. How strict will it be? I don't know. I just think once they start, it's going to be a bad day for our politicians here in America. Just my thoughts, but those are the headlines for today. So thanks for joining us today, folks. I will be back, I think, later today for Podbean, but I have something personal I have to go take care of. So Podbean is not on. I'll try to put something out and let you guys know. But if not, I'll be on Podbean at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if I can get back in time to do that. So love y'all. Have a great day. Stay focused on what's important, and we'll see you back here later this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube.